Hello and welcome to all of our new and returning students. This is Kickoff. We're so excited to be here. This is definitely one of our favorite events that happen every year. And so we're really excited to start it off virtually. So I wanted to start it with a land acknowledgement, and I want to acknowledge the land that is actually in Inver Grove Heights, which is where the campus is, that it's the ancestral territory of the Sioux people. And then next, I'd like to actually welcome our college president, Michael Barrett of Inver Hills Community College, and he can start it off.
Well, thank you, Jenny. Welcome. We're so happy to have you here, and welcome to the 2020 fall semester. I'm sure that this semester is not starting the way you imagined, and you're probably tired of people reminding you how different things are. I was reflecting on this moment, and the writer J.R.R. Tolkien had said something that really meant something to me. He was talking about, we often don't get to decide when we live, and sometimes we live through difficult times. And in his words, all we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. And so it's really heartening to see that you've chosen in this time to continue your education. And while you are here, please take every opportunity to thrive from it. Connect with classmates and instructors. Your student success is at the heart of everything we do. So please make use of all the resources we offer to support you, from academic advising, career counseling, to food and health services, and many more. Just as importantly, please stay safe. We have many protocols in place to prevent the spread of illness on our campus. Please be sure to take the COVID self-assessment health questionnaire before coming to campus, and while on campus, please wear a mask and practice social distancing. In my experience, successful college students approach life from a learning mindset. And I hope you use your time on campus to really more fully understand yourself, your connections to the world around you, and that you discover what to do with the educational opportunities that are given to you. So with that, I will turn it back over to, I think, Jenny. And again, welcome. We're so glad to have you here.
Now we have our wonderful Vice President of Student Affairs, Wendy Robinson, who will share a bit about what you can expect for fall.
Thanks, Nikki. Thanks, Jenny. Well, welcome, everybody. We're so glad to have you here. Like Nikki and Jenny, I also usually really love kickoff day. I mean, I still love it this year. I'm not going to lie, I miss the cotton candy machine and the barbecue. So you guys will all have to commit to coming back next year when hopefully we'll be back in person for kickoff, because I'm telling you, our kickoff snack game is on point. There's some good stuff. I will also be doing a session at 11 o'clock this morning where I'll go a little bit more in depth to what to expect for fall. But I wanted to share just a couple of key points and updates and reminders. For the majority of you in this session, you will likely be taking all of your classes online. You might be doing synchronous, you might be doing asynchronous, but we are offering very few on-campus courses this semester, and that is largely a decision that we made with the best interest of students in mind, recognizing that COVID is a really fluid situation, and that, a lot of you may have experienced last year a disruption in the spring if you were attending either a K-12 school or another college where there was a sudden shift and everything had to pivot to being online, and that kind of felt probably stressful and a little overwhelming, because it sure felt that way for us too. And so when we looked at the landscape of where we currently are, we knew that our best and safest option was to have most of our coursework happening online for the fall semester. The good news is that we're really good at it. We've always had online classes. We've always had a really robust way of offering that. And now everybody in our campus is a Zoom expert, and we're all ready to go. Our faculty have done an amazing job getting prepared for the fall semester. I think the biggest message that I would want to give you is that online does not mean on your own. Just because you may not physically be coming to campus doesn't mean that you don't still get all the resources and support that our campus has to offer. So we'll talk more about that in my session at 11 if you choose to opt in, but just know that whatever you need, whether it is tutoring, whether it is help from the library, whether it is counseling or advising, or our Center for Career Development and Community-Based Learning, whether it's financial aid, all of those resources are available to students in multiple ways. It's just not going to be an in-person offering as the first choice, but we'll kind of talk through that. You'll also get information from me via email. So please commit to checking whatever email address you gave Inver when you were signing up, because you're going to get a lot of information from us in the next week or two, but it's all really good and important information for you to have. And then I'll just wrap up by reiterating what President Barrett had said. Masks are required on campus. You have to bring your own mask with you. That's just we're a state agency, and that's the governor's current order, and that's also a way that we're making sure that we're keeping our campus safe. We also do have the mandatory health screening prior to coming to campus. You should have received an email from me last week with information about how to do that, but you'll get another email reminding you about that process in the next week or so as well. So when Jenny and Nikki asked me to do this, I said, can you please take your 45-minute presentation and condense it to 3 minutes? So that is the 3-minute version of what's usually a 45-minute session. I've got a few more minutes at 11 if you do want to come in. You're always also welcome to email me at wendy.robinson@inverhills.edu if you have questions or concerns about what this fall semester will look like.
Thank you, Wendy. And I am going to, we had a couple of questions just about the D2L again. So what I wanted to do quickly is just, since we have a few moments, I will go ahead and I will share with you exactly what you can see. Because I just keep trying to change the sharing settings, excuse me. What you should be able to see when you are in the D2L. Can you see that? Or do you see me?
Can see it.
Okay, perfect. I'm so sorry. So this is what your D2L home screen for the day of kickoff looks like on your D2L page. And as we go along, this is our welcome session. You might have joined by clicking this green button and then typing in here. That welcome or that workshop session is, I apologize, going to have to be prepared just a moment. Excuse me. The workshop session is available. There are, oh, here we are. There are currently 4 workshops that are in there, and they're 20 minutes. So the idea being, once again, short amount of time, we'll get you the information, and then if you have more questions, if you want to meet with us, we are all itching to meet with people one-on-one. So set it up with us. But instead of staying in this session or in this one Zoom meeting, you'll just go ahead and click to the next places that you're looking for. That being said, oh, and then also that scavenger hunt is available right here and can be submitted the same way that you might submit a assignment. So by going into your D2L assessments and then assignments, and then, oops, excuse me, sorry. Assessments and then assignments, and then you would be able to just go ahead and submit right there. But once again, we're all around here if you are looking for help. And with that, I think that we are ready to get started with our Q&A. We're going to transition right into our annual Q&A panel session with faculty, staff, and students. It's honestly one of our favorite events of the kickoff. And so if everybody who is on our panel can go ahead and unmute your video and your audio for us. And then anybody who has questions as we go along at any point, you can add them into the Q&A. We are asking you to try not add them into the chat, although if that's the only place you can find, we will figure out a way to get them back in there. But to begin our discussion, we're going to ask each panelist to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about your role, so what you do at Inver Hills, and then I'm looking for the most concise piece of amazing advice that you can offer, right? Because we want to get through introductions in less than a minute each for each of you, if possible. So I know that I introduced myself first, but because I believe in fairness, my name is Nichelle Botko. I work, not Botko Woods, Nichelle Botko Woods. I have a second last name I added. And I work in the student life office most of the time, which the student life office is now my living room, which is cool. But that means I work with rec sports, health service clubs and events. And my best piece of advice is have a place where you work and always work there. It helps with concentration. So I'm just gonna call someone out. If you guys will introduce yourself and then call off the next person. Gabby, if you would introduce yourself, I would love it.
Hi, I'm Gabriella Marin. I'm an admissions advisor. I would say the best advice is take advantage of the services that I provide, so I can help you through all the steps. You don't have to know how to start. You don't even know you don't have to know how to apply. I will help you through the whole process. And I will move on to Randy.
Hi everyone, my name is Randy Gadel and I am the Director of Accessibility Resources. So my primary role here is to support individuals with disabilities through their educational experience. And so my biggest piece of advice is to utilize the Learning Center. Although our doors might not physically be open this semester, we will still be offering a plethora of different services through the Writing Center, Math Center, my office, peer tutoring. So I can't say it enough. I think that that will be crucial, especially this semester, in your success. So now since James is over in the Learning Center, I'll go send it off to him.
Hi, I'm James Collis. I teach math here at Inver Hills. I think my biggest piece of advice is to make sure you keep communicating in the online setting. It was hard for me to get used to, but it's really, really crucial, and it's even more crucial now. Be active in discussions, in Zoom sessions, whatever you can do to stay engaged and communicating with other people. Jenny?
Hi, I'm Jenny Amata. I am the Student Life Coordinator here at Inver Hills. Let's see, some great advice. I think I'd have to mimic Nikki's in saying that, you know, having a space where you're working differently and just in a different space, maybe in a different room, however that looks, and then also take care of yourself. Make sure you get up, take a walk, get a glass of water, anything like that. So I will hand it off to Crystal. Did you go yet?
I didn't.
All right, there you go.
All right, sweet. Hi, guys. I'm Crystal Delich. I am a student at Inver Hills. I'm a sophomore, so year 2. I'm just involved with student life. You were hearing Nikki and her talking about it, and Jenny, that's part of student life. And I am just a student ambassador, so that means I work on campus sometimes too. The best advice that I would give would be to ask a lot of questions, because you are going into this not really knowing, and you think, okay, if I ask questions, I kind of look dumb, but that's not true. You actually look really smart, and they say that if you have a question, someone might also have the same question, which is like 99% true. So that's the best advice that I would give, and I'm going to hand it off to Tim.
Good morning. I'm Tim Smith. I'm also in my second year at Inver Hills. I'm also the Student Senate President for this upcoming academic year. I'm an adult learner. I'm 40. I just took off my 40 shirt, actually. I am 40. I'm a retired veteran, U.S. Navy. Like Inver Hills, I think that some of the best advice I could do is kind of what Crystal was saying, is ask questions, instructors and faculty, and we all make mistakes and we misword things and mistype things at times. So make sure if you have a question, you're answering that. And also get ahead, especially with online. Not that online's hard by any means, believe me, I actually kind of prefer it. But the sooner assignments come out, start your reading, start looking at your requirements and all that stuff, get ahead. Otherwise, the back end of your week can also become busy because your truck won't start, or you got to go to work or something like that. So the sooner you can knock out your classwork earlier in the week, the better. And I will turn it over to, let's see, Jeremy Clark and advising.
Thank you, Tim. And also thank you for your service. Just want to say good morning to everybody. Thank you for joining us today. As an advisor, my one piece of advice for you is to utilize the services that are here to help you. I got into advising to genuinely help students. So just echoing what Crystal was saying, don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. either. I believe I worked with Crystal in her first orientation, and I've seen her get involved on campus and seen her blossom and grow as a student leader as well. So I want to give you props to that. You're not just a student ambassador. You wear a lot of hats, and we appreciate you. But yeah, just utilize us in advising and counseling. We're here as a support to help you navigate this system. I don't expect you all to know everything, all the ins and outs of college, and in that brief orientation where we have you, we cover a lot of information. So my main thing is reach out. I love talking to the students. I love helping them. If I can share some advice to help you not make a mistake I made when I was in your shoes, I try to be as forthcoming as possible. So kickoff is truly one of my favorite times of the year as well. And when you see me on campus, when we do return back to that, don't hesitate to reach out to stop me and ask questions. Thank you. I'm gonna pass it off to Emily.
Hi guys. My name is Emily O'Neill. I'm this year's Student Senate Legislative Director. And right now I'm working on a Get Out the Vote. So you might see me or hear from me on that because the elections are coming up soon. So first, I have two pieces of advice. I have more than that, but I want to keep it quick. Ask for help, ask for help, ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for more help. That's what I've learned. So I was in your shoes a year ago, brand new, and intimidated about certain things, especially being an older student. And I just kept asking, and my second advice is get involved. And even if you're nervous about that or intimidated about that, ask and just get involved somehow. That's helped me a lot. So welcome everybody. And Emma.
Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Emma and I'm a member of the Student Senate. I am in a temporary position as the Director of Communications, and I am going to be running for the actual position of Director of Communications this fall. So that is a position that will be open if you're looking for something to get involved with. I believe Vice President position is also open. And so a piece of advice that I would like to give is to use a planner. It really helps me to keep track of like the different assignments and tasks that I have to do. And going off of what Crystal and Emily said, don't be afraid to ask for help. Basically, like everybody on this panel I've met or I've seen, and they're all very friendly, smart people. I think you'll have a great time at Edinburgh, even though it's online. And yeah, I hope you do well, and don't be afraid to reach out. Oh, who hasn't spoken? Shannon.
Thanks for giving me the opportunity to speak, Emma. I'm not actually on the panel, just here hanging out. So I'm going to pass it to Amy.
Thanks. I am Amy Zohar. I use she, her pronouns. I am a faculty member in the communication department. I am also a faculty member of the first year experience area and the LGBT Plus Club sponsor. I have two pieces of advice because everybody on this panel knows I couldn't settle on one. The first piece of advice is to question everything. Question everything. Ask a lot of questions. Let your curiosity take control. That's what college is about. Challenge when you need to, yourself even, but question everything. And the second piece of advice, kind of seconds what some other people have said, is to connect. Connect with clubs, connect with your colleagues, your classmates, connect with your faculty. Office hours are there for you. Show up. We sit there with our computers on. Please come catch us in an awkward moment of like huge bite of a sandwich or something. We want you to connect with us. And just make sure that you're staying in communication. I know this is a weird and strange time, but this is also the best time to really start to form those relationships and friendships. You have your own MnState Zoom account, use it. Connect with each other. Don't Don't sit in a silo. Get out there. And since I'm the last one, I give this back to the student life gurus.
All right, thanks everybody. And so even though some of these questions have been answered in the Q&A, I think that maybe answering some of them live would be great. And so one of the first questions is, if it is my first year, when's the best time to purchase books? Also, Jeremy, thank you for answering that and typing it. But yeah, so maybe some of the students don't know, or just kind of curious about it. So yeah, if somebody wants to take it away, when's the best time to purchase your books?
I would encourage you to have your books before the first day of class, and just go in with the expectation, thinking you could have homework day one, or you could have some pre-read before the first day of class. You can pick up your books from the actual bookstore. Their contact information I will put into the chat, but it's bookstore@inverhills.edu. There is a process where you can create an account and get your books. And if you do have financial aid on file, you can use that. So it's no money out of pocket. If you have any questions about books, or you're running into hiccups or problems, I'm going to promote. Right now, we have advisors open that are sitting in a room ready to answer your questions. You can get to those advisors by going to the Inver Hills webpage and typing in advising. That'll bring you to our webpage, and then it just says drop in advising. It's in big, bold red print. You can click in there. And please, if you don't have your books yet, talk to one of us. We can walk you through the process in making arrangements to pick those up. But you want to go into the semester with your books, because I don't want anybody to start off behind or get behind on any reading, especially starting out the semester.
And I want to jump on that really quickly, Jeremy, and also say that some of your faculty have opted into an ebook that will be available for you in your D2L shell that you pay for when you pay for the class. So you won't need to seek out those textbooks. And you can opt out of that. So if you're somebody who needs the hard copy book, every book that has the e-service availability also has a hard copy version that you can get access to. So, so don't freak out if you see that you have to get an ebook, like, why am I trapped into this? You're not. You can opt out, and that information should be available in your faculty's D2L shell. So when you go into D2L, you should be able to click on your classes. Some will be open now, some will not be. But somebody just asked where you can find the books you need. Nikki has posted the bookstore website. You type in your, like, there's a place that says find your textbooks, and you can select the course, select the instructor, and find out what textbooks you need. So that is also a space where you can find that information. So just wanted to jump on there real fast.
That's how most of the math textbooks are, and they're typically bound to the online homework platform thing that we use, so it'll be tied up with that.
This is not a question that we had in there, but one that we get a lot. And I think that we might have multiple answers to this, which is helpful. But depending on the course, textbooks can be really expensive. What can students do if maybe they don't have the cash right now in their pockets, but they have financial aid? Or what can they do to find lower cost options to be able to afford books this semester? Emily, you are totally raising your hand, but you just have to unmute. You're the best.
Sorry.
No.
Amazon or like Prime, not to promote Amazon, but you can go online and order textbooks. I do both. I go online and I order from class. When I need access, I order, or not from class, from the bookstore. When I need access, I order from the bookstore. And when I don't need access, you can rent online as well. And then it's pretty easy. Like, I've rented books and then I decide, oh, I want to keep it. So then they'll give you an option to keep it as well. It's actually been pretty smooth. So.
Yeah, so in getting books, ways that you can utilize financial aid: if you get an award letter and it says you're going to get money back to pay for your schooling, you can utilize those funds to get books from the bookstore. What I mean by that is, let's say I get financial aid and I'm going to get a $2,000 award. My classes are $1,500. I can use that other $500 that are left over to say to the school, I would like to order my books and use that from the money that I'm going to get back. So what the school does is it'll charge your books, and then any money that's left over goes to your account. And I know I'm saying this kind of fast, but if you want somebody to, hey, do I have financial aid? Do I have an award letter? Do I have money on file to buy my books? We have those staff available as well in financial aid, where they're doing quick stop hours where you can drop in and talk to a financial aid advisor. So those are ways to do it. When I was a student, speaking in full transparency, I would look how much it was in the bookstore, and then I would take the barcode or ISBN number. You can put it right there into Google, or you can put it into Amazon, and you can see if the book is cheaper. You all be savvy and find the best option for you. But just know that with shipping and things like that, classes do start next week. So I have had conversations with students that are waiting 2-3 weeks for books to get shipped to their house. So just pay attention to that. If you do have Prime, that 2-day shipping is going to be your best friend.
You can also ask your professors, if you have somebody in the family that took the class with the professor before and has a slightly older edition, if you can start there as you're waiting for your new book to arrive. But also connect with people and see who's taken the class with the instructor before. They may have a copy of the book too you can borrow. And Aiden asked if ebooks are cheaper than physical. The answer is they should be. They usually are. There's no guarantee on that. But they usually, the books that we use that are in our D2L shells are cheaper than the physical hard copies.
Yeah, and we've, at least in mathematics, we've worked with the publishers, the way the direct digital thing works, where the books are already paid for in your D2L thing with as like a fee. It should be the absolute cheapest way you can get it, apart from like a friend. And if it's not, let us know, because that's something we have been told.
I think what Wendy said in the chat is something that I do and I would really emphasize is you can still go to our bookstore. It's open. I don't know if we said that, but you can go in. Of course, you have to wear a mask, but they do have new and used books. So depending on what your preference is, but you know, used books, of course, are going to be cheaper.
So I think we'll kind of go on to the next question. So there's a lot of ones on books and stuff like that, but I think the next one that we'll just kind of jump to is somebody had asked, what is Student Senate? And I'm going to let Tim take this away.
There we go. Again, thank you, Jenny. Yeah, Student Senate. So it's a really good opportunity for anyone, including faculty and staff, definitely students, to interact amongst each other. You work with the instructors and the faculty and the treasury department of the school and the president of the school, and you really focus and work on how to make the college life experience better. That includes textbooks. Should ebooks be a thing, or should all classes go to ebooks, or maybe ebooks are a bad thing? Should we go back to all paper? So a lot of different discussions. Some classes, maybe we should teach more math classes since James Coles is here, and you know, just all kinds of different entities of the Inver Hills community campus life. We talk about clubs, what clubs are involved, how to get involved. Different, I know due to COVID, it's a little bit different. There's Inver Hills is part of the Minn State Community College. So they have Amen Lead, which are seminars on different types of professional training. One of the other benefits, I think, of joining the Student Senate is it's a real professional atmosphere, which means that as and again, I'm 40, so don't get me wrong, but as 18, 19, 25-year-old, you experience how to walk into a professional meeting. There's what's the word I'm looking for? Voting and the ayes and the Nikki knows what I'm talking about. The certain laws, not laws, but rules that
Robert's
means
rules?
Which ones?
Robert's rules?
Roberts.
Thank you. Robert's rules. The Robert's rules that are followed. So when you do walk into a company, you know kind of how the flow of a meeting works. You're not just the new individual into the company, just kind of sitting in a boardroom not knowing what's going on. So definitely can really take advantage of being part of the Student Senate. I think so anyway. So thank you for letting me answer that, Jenny.
When does Student Senate meet?
Question.
Specifically, when is their first meeting? Because it might be on the scavenger hunt.
Oh, all right. The first meeting is going to be September 10th. And that's going to be, is it not, Jenny? I thought it was September 10th.
3rd, I think.
3rd.
Sorry.
So it's going to be September 3rd. However, the reason I guess I had the 10th in my head, for the next month, every Thursday of the first month of school, myself or Emily O'Neill, who's also on the Student Senate, and Emma Kirby, who's also on the Student Senate, we will be basically doing this, having an open session for an hour, hour and a half for students to come in and ask the same questions. When does Student Senate meet? How often do you meet? What are some things that you guys are looking forward to doing this fall? So absolutely, good question. Thank you, Amy.
Related to Student Senate, and I think that it's possible that some of these might be questions that Jenny and I can help with, but I bet you guys have this. We have a bunch of questions about clubs and activities that are happening or not happening due to fall. Fortunately, we have a bunch of club advisors, club members here. What I'm wondering is, could you guys let us know if are there any clubs that are not allowed to meet? There's not, because of COVID, or what are the restrictions? Do we have any, like how could someone get involved with a club this fall?
Well, at 11:20 today, there will be a space where you can go. You can find it on the same place we find everything else. There's a list of clubs that are going to be available for you to pop in and say hi. LGBT Plus Club will be one of them. And so we meet, when do we meet? We meet on, it's changing, Tuesdays at 1. I know this answer. Tuesdays at 1 this fall. But the clubs will be around, so please pop in and say hi to us between 11:20 and 12:20. Correct me if I'm wrong. See some head nods. So that's so we're going to be around, and there's a whole bunch of clubs that are going to be there for that.
And yes, how to get involved. Come to a meeting. Attendance isn't required. I encourage you to explore, visit different clubs of interest you think you're interested in, you want to learn more about. But yes, as a club advisor, we are still going to be meeting. It's just going to be virtually. So still ways to get involved, and hopefully it'll make that experience when we come together that much better for the spring semester, hopefully. So
I feel like another good way is, you guys all know Nikki and Jenny now. They're kind of the core of all the clubs. So I would say go to them if you have their contact information, and if maybe you miss the panel, not the panel, but just all the club meetings today, just go to them and say, well, do you have information about these clubs? And they can give you all the info that you would ever need. So I would say go there.
We have a math club that has been merged with the engineering club, but the engineering club is advised by Joan Carter, who's our engineering instructor too. And that's a lot of really, really cool and exciting things are happening in that. And that club is a great place if you're like totally dedicated to an engineering path, or if you just thought maybe it would be cool to see what an engineering person might be up to. Like a lot of people come in who aren't majoring in engineering just to see what's happening. And it's a really, really exciting space.
I would also like to add, if you don't see a club on campus that you were like, oh, I totally want to have that, you can come talk to us and we can help you get started on starting a new club. We're always open to new clubs. We love hearing about your guys' ideas, and you guys have the best ideas. So yeah, if you want to come talk to myself or Nikki, and we can help you get started with that. So we have some more questions. So the next one is, are there any jobs available at Inver?
I can vouch for this one. Yeah, there's a whole lot of jobs when campus was open, but still when campus is closed too. So there's something that I mentioned earlier. It's called student ambassador, and that's kind of your job title. And for student ambassador, you can work on in many different areas on campus. You can work in the nurse's office if maybe you're interested in that area, or you can work in cultural center, and you can work in the rec center, or you can work in financial aid, help that out, or counseling center, just all sorts of different areas that you think, oh, maybe they would need help, or that kind of interests me, just all kind of areas. And I think that having a job on campus is awesome because you're just already on campus basically, or that was the case before, but that can be the case now too, because campus is open, but you just of course have to wear a mask. So yes, there's plenty of jobs and there's plenty of really awesome people that you can work with there. So yeah, the answer is yes.
Another thing is, after you've had your first semester, if there's a course that really resonates with you and you get really excited about it, we're doing peer tutoring in the tutoring center, and that can be done remotely, and we're always looking for students who are excited about tutoring. And I feel like I did a lot of math tutoring when I was in school, and I felt like I didn't really learn a subject until I had taken it and then tutored it to people. Once you can answer people's questions, it's a really helpful thing just in your continuing studies too.
You guys, we have 1 minute left of this session, and I am so thankful for all of the questions we got through. Just as a closing, since we have a minute, if you have the shortest piece of advice that you can share that we didn't get to say, or else just let people know where they can find you at 11:20. For the positions, the job positions, and then anybody who's still struggling to get into the Student Senate D2L, I'm going to hang out here after the 10:45 and just be here to try and explain through and let everybody else go. But speed session goodbyes from all of our panelists. One last thing, and where can we find you later today?
Absolutely. I will go first. You can find me later today in open advising. Last piece of advice, enjoy this. This is a start of a new journey for you all. That's why I like kickoff. I like seeing people when they start their whatever pathway it's brought them on. But I truly hope you enjoy your time at Inver, and just want to say welcome and thank you for choosing us.
Yeah, I'd like to jump off what Jeremy said is, yeah, this is each and every one of your guys' individual journey. And it's going to be fun and frustrating and maybe sometimes overwhelming, but just really, really exciting in general, just overall. So like Jeremy said, just enjoy it, learn about yourself, learn about the world, and just take it one day at a time, basically. Good luck to you guys.
I guess my fast advice is, for me, it was really hard to deal with doing so much work on a computer that also has every website in the world on it. So come up with some kind of a strategy to keep yourself partitioned and not have like Instagram open in one tab and then, which I guess makes me sound very old, your phone with Instagram on it right in front of you or whatever. Like get yourself situated.
And my advice, I'll be later today in the LGBT plus club room, nobody's surprised. And so you can pop in there. But my advice is also just really like I said before, connect, really reach out to us. Let me tell you, your advisors love when you pop in. The librarians want nothing more than to answer your questions and help you with research. Randy is available and really wants to make sure that you're successful if you have any sort of accessibility needs. Jenny and Nikki want nothing more than you guys to pop in on a regular basis. We miss you all, so use us. That's what we're here for.
Again, yes, my name, I'll be in the student senate from 11 to 12:30, as well as the same thing. I was just going to actually throw a shout out to Randy and accessibility as well. And use your tutoring. Tutoring, I've used it every semester I've been at Embry Hills, so both for English and math, mostly math, but yes, use, and to be honest with you, maybe your instructors will tell you this up front, maybe they won't. Sometimes your math instructors will actually give you extra points just for going to a tutor. So, and I used it. So use your tutors. That's all I got.
Hi everyone, Randy here. I will be in the accessibility resources virtual table this afternoon, and so please feel free to stop in. For my returning students, I've seen a question in the Q&A. I am still available virtually. There's availability to book online with me. So check out my webpage. That's the easiest way to know to get a hold of me. Stop in this afternoon. I will make sure to talk to everybody who comes in and sees me. I'm here at school this week, and tomorrow I still have some openings. So if you do need to renew or want to schedule an intake with me, I'm happy to do that and get that set up later at the fair. So thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Emily. I'll be in the Student Senate from 11 to 12:30. And my last piece of advice is to use counseling and advising and get an academic plan going. Even if it's not like exactly what you want to do, just get it going. You can always change it, but get it going. That's important.
My name is Emma, and I am going to also be in the Student Senate area. I'll be there from about 11 to noon. And I'd like to also give a shout out to Randy. She's helped me all my first year, and she's going to continue to help me in my second year. So if you have a disability or you think you have a disability, don't be afraid to go to her, and good luck to you all.